I will be discussing something on moral values. What I mean is generational influence on children. You might not know it, but it happens. Fourth, fifth, far generations that have passed on. I'm talking about your grand parents, your ancestors, even the kind of behavior, the kind of attitude or character they had might still be affecting many generations after them. Not just 4, 16 or more generations after them. And I'm going to show 2 major examples of a bad influence and a positive influence generations. You could see how we are, because no matter who you are, you must have descendants, ancestors. So this generational influence of parents on their descendants is very real. So I'm taking you to some shocking example from history. And I asked a question: how powerful can the generational influence of parents be on their own family and descendants? How powerful do you think it can be? The very first example I'm giving, let's start from in 1874. A New York State Prison Board member noticed that 6 members of the same family were incarcerated simultaneously. And the person then began to wonder, what's happening? Why 6 members of the same family? So the board did some research, looking back a few generations to find the original couple who initiated this tragic family legacy. And indeed, it's a tragic family legacy. The history traced the family line back to an ancestor born in 1720, a man considered lazy and godless, with a reputation as a town troublemaker. He was also an alcoholic and viewed as having low moral character. In fact, that is even better. No character at all. And to make matters worse, this man with low moral character married a woman who was much like himself. And together, they had 6 daughters and 2 sons. The report revealed that approximately 1,200 descendants of this couple, who were alive by 1874, 310 were homeless, 160 were prostitutes, 180 suffered from drug or alcohol abuse, 150 criminals spent time in prison, including 7 for murder. And the report also found that the state of New York has spent a colossal sum at that time, $1.5 million, a shockingly high number, to care for this line of bad descendants. And not one of them, not single one of them, had made a significant contribution to the society. Let's look at the refreshing contrast of another family. This second family study began with the famous preacher Jonathan Edwards. Jonathan Edwards was born in 1703. He was a profoundly religious man. He lived a righteous life of strong moral values and became a minister and a dedicated family man. He married a profoundly religious woman, prayerful woman, a prayer warrior named Sarah, who shared his values, his moral values, his spiritual values. And they had 11 children together. Eventually, Jonathan Edwards became the president of Princeton University. You will have heard about Princeton University. Here's what researchers discovered about the approximately 1,400 descendants of Jonathan and Sarah Edwards by 1874. 13 were college presidents. 65 were college professors. 100 were attorneys. 32 were state judges. 85 were authors of classic best-selling books. 66 were physicians. 80 held political offices, including 3 state governors. 3 were state senators. 1 became vice president of the United States. What a difference it makes in the example and values passed down to the next generation. Moral values. Honestly, there's nothing that one can interchange with strong moral values. Strong moral values can bring blessings and opportunities for generations yet to be born. It is not too late to start rewriting history. By abiding by the ways and scripture doctrines, so that generation from you can be a source of blessing to society. So I hope you have learned something in this. And I hope it has set a very good tone for you. Click that subscribe button. And if you have not turned on your notification, turn it on so that anytime I release a video, you get notification from me. You'll be notified. And if you need to contact me or anything, just check my description link.